Hello, friends. It's Chapo. Then went fully postal last week on Instagram to his 18 million followers and gave a two-part interview on Tucker Carlson's show on Fox. West told Carlson that Jared Kushner had manipulated Donald Trump and organized the Abraham Accords for personal advantage.
I'm trying to detect some lies here.
Yeah, he's got to sell buildings.
Yeah.
Got to sell some buildings.
I mean, yeah, that was a coincidence. That whole thing where he went into, they went into office with him having this gigantic $1 zillion white elephant building, and then he's doing these accords.
666 Park
and then all of a
Avenue.
sudden, one of these Gulf hedge funds just fucking takes it off his hands. That's a coincidence. And what are you to come on?
Right. I mean, like, it would be disappointing if Jared Kushner did anything that wasn't in his personal interest.
Yeah, what else are you doing there?
Yeah.
man?
Sticking to geopolitics, he said that the media want Lizzo, a portly flautist noted for showing her bottom in public,
Portly flautist.
to stay
Okay.
fat in the name of the demonic idea that stuffing your face is healthy. I mean, hasn't Kanye had like lipo done?
He's had some of the most
He's had a lot of
insane
his
lipos, like
surgeries.
micro lipo ever done
the
on a
thing
man.
is, this is all how it's all yelling into a mirror, and it's all narcissism. He's looking pretty swole these days himself. His neck is looking pretty fat. I think he might be feeling a little insecure.
I think the opposite. I think he looks, he got like facial micro lipo. That's what it looks like to me from the interview.
I guess I wouldn't know how to recognize facial micro lipo. I've never seen
Would
it.
you just compare it to older pictures of him? No, I noticed it.
Why do you think they would want to promote unhealthiness? Carlson asked, as the host of the most popular cable show in America. He is as much the media as anyone is. It's a genocide of the black race, West explained. They want to kill us any way they can.
See, this is why this is where it could happen, because obviously you have to deracialize that, and have to turn it into the greater, narrative about culture, destroying us. But it's that same activated paranoia among Republicans that they're being sought for destruction for their identities, when in fact they are being immiserated universally by the relentless grind of capitalism. No, they don't want it. They don't want to genocide black people, but the thing that makes money involves pumping out as much fucking cheap calories as possible in a way that will guarantee that people get obese, and that the obesity is concentrated at the lowest levels of the socioeconomic level, which means it will concentrate around racial minorities, and specifically black people. That is a guaranteed outcome of that result. But that's not the reason they're doing it.
Right, but they already did that.
Yeah.
They already pumped the poorest communities full of the worst food that wouldn't even be served to fucking pigs in the European Union. Everything else is post facto.
And then, like,
Already
you
did
know,
it.
you can look at like health outcomes in this country and like begin to wonder why black men across the board have like the worst health outcomes in every fucking stroke, heart disease, diabetes, across the board.
Yeah, and it's just frustrating because we can't talk about the structures. We cannot talk about the reproducing structures that govern our lives, like the capitalist relations that make everything the way it is. We can only look at a culture that's coping with that and then decide that its signals are what's making us do it. So, like, even if you accept the notion that, these ads are trying to make people say it's okay to these ads are there to tell people it's okay to be fat, it's because, if everyone's fat, why not make them not feel bad about it,
Yeah.
Like, that's the impulse that governs everyone through that chain of thinking that gets to that. It's not, we want people to die. It's, well, look, they're dying anyway. Everyone's fat as hell anyway. We can't do anything about that.
Right, and
maybe we could make them feel better about it.
We're gearing towards a future where like only like the middle highest earners are not fat.
Yeah.
So we might as well like try this sort of half-baked combination of like academic and culture stuff where you get like the Nabisco professor of body positivity.
Oh yeah, that was
writes fucking
That was so good.
research papers that are like, no, you naturally like want to fuck someone who's 700 pounds.
I gotta say, that was demonic.
Yeah.
Insane.
Lady from the-
Insane.
from the
There's no such thing as
Oreo
good or bad
company?
food.
Oh my fucking God.
And like, look, in a moral sense, like, no, I don't.
Well, that's the
think,
thing.
yeah.
Everything is conflated.
No, I don't
as
think
one.
anyone's a bad person
No.
for being, but like,
There's a difference between food that is healthy and unhealthy in terms of like the nutrition it provides your
But our
body.
entire social order is reproducing us doing things that are bad for us.
Yeah.
If not just eating food, but voting, participating in society that is
bad for
destroying
you.
the
It's bad
goddamn
for
world.
you.
It's all bad for you. So I think like the thing what's frustrating is that there is an impulse among all of this racial panic and gender panic that generates these movements, a desire to like rip the VR headset off of us, basically. The recognition that like, Like all the things that we think are helping us cope with the world we're in are actually also like connecting us to it and making us unable to do anything else. So we got to like destroy it, but you can't because it's set on top of a thing that generates it. And politics, the thing that politics is supposed to do, which is a disciplining structure that subordinates your basest instincts into like coordinated action towards a goal, not just getting your not just relieving the sense of like anxiety that you have for living a life that is terrifying and alienating. No, directing that somewhere. That instinct is supposed to pull action towards the causes, towards the structures. But we don't have that political pull anymore. So everything is getting towards this frantic, culture-wide clawing away at like the goggles to try to get them off our face.
It's like if the they live glasses, if you only saw like a half a layer deep.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you all the body positivity and like fat acceptance stuff, a lot of it is just like it immediately goes to like the moral idea because that is the basest and only way that we can see things. Like people are obsessed with calling media bad because they can't figure out if the protagonist is supposed to be good or bad immediately. With the obesity stuff, it immediately goes to like is an obese person a good or bad person?
Yes.
If you're on the other side of it, if you're on like the now politicized conservative side of it, it's like no, you're a bad person. You're a drug addict if you're obese.
Yes.
And the other side of it is going so far in the other direction. Not just are you not a bad person if you're obese, which is the base truth you're working with. You're a bad person if you don't become that, if you're not immediately desiring that.
Yes.
Like if you think this is unhealthy or like fucked up in any way, if you point out that obesity rates have skyrocketed since the 90s, did everyone's genetics change if nothing's being done to the food?
Yeah.
Then you are a bad person. And that is the half a layer of illusion taken away.
Yeah.
Trying to look at it.
And then if you're on the other side of that, it's like, okay, then I'm a bad person according to you. I'm gonna have to flip your values because obviously they're wrong if I don't think I'm a bad fucking person because of that.
And
I'll be determined to be a villain.
And yeah, meanwhile, no one really talks about like what food companies do to our food.
No.
What like anything related to agribusiness.
Can't
it's all
discuss
just
it.
Yeah, it's all just, what's in Sports Illustrated.
Yep. Well, it's like we are trying to determine like who's going to be like who's going to be the Lorne Michaels of America. Like that's what we're voting on. It's like who gets to program SNL each week, who gets to put on things, and then we get to evaluate like an aesthetic assemblage, like fat and black or whatever, and disabled. That's good, or the old Aryan ideal is good, and then we're gonna fight over what we should be watching every day.
Gambo.
We should be watching Gambo.
We should be watching Gambo, folks. Finally, some Gambo happened.
I gotta
last
tell
night.
you,
Finally, some Gambos happening.
since the time jumps, I'm enjoying that. Ever since they started jumping forward in time a lot, I'm getting more Gambo. There's more Gambo-esque hijinks.
Okay.
When that dude got his head cut off out of nowhere,
That was tight.
Matt, Chris, and I were all watching it. We all turned to each other. We got a Gambo has
That's
occurred.
Gambo.
A Gambo has finally occurred.
A wild Gambo has emerged.
Should I start watching it?
Yeah.
I mean, you love the lore, and there's tons of lore.
Yeah.
Like
It's just
there's a little in-joke thing where like there's a line of potential suitors for the princess, and a young Blackwood and a Bracken get in a fight, and one of them kills the other one. And it's like, hey, we all love those feuding families from the Riverlands, the Brackens and the Blackwoods. We love them, folks.
That sounds good. I mean, I have to stop watching SVU.
Are you watching like classic Christopher Maloney era?
Oh,
SVU,
of course,
SVU?
of course.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm not watching like the new guy
with Donald Logue.
What's
and-
the guy fucks Mariska Hargitay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not supposed-
A lowly cop fucks her. Should be a New York Yankee or a prince. It's a fucking guy who makes $60,000 a year at most. Fuck you.
Be Aaron Judge.
Disgusting. Yeah, I hated it. Hated when they did that. Awful.
So
But-
you mean you're transitioning from your white woman media consumption era when you were doing true crime YouTubes and Law and Order SVU?
yeah.
Just become a white woman.